Welcome everybody to another edition of This Week in D1A Rugby. We've got a few highlights for you, a few observations too, mostly about how teams are playing, and interesting to find out that sometimes simple is best. So we're kicking it off with Grand Canyon against University of Utah. Now, Grand Canyon head coach Sean O'Leary has been talking about how the tough games that he played in February are going to pay off in dividends in March and April, and certainly it looked like that way against Utah. And our first highlight really is actually Grand Canyon on defense. They're up against the wall, they are defending their goal line, and it's a very nice together kind of defense as Utah comes in and threatens to score. And they get under that, and they are able to hold that ball up and prevent the try. It's a nice move from Grand Canyon just to get out of trouble and keep, at the time, a clean sheet. They do end up giving up a couple of tries to Utah, but they win fairly comfortably. On attack, well, they moved captain and scrum half Tucker Trickey from scrum half out to fullback so they could give him a little bit more space in which to work, and that also opened up a spot for freshman Juan Phelan, who is looking pretty good in the number 9 jersey. So Phelan sparks an attack here along the weak side with Trickey. He links up with Trickey. Very nice little attack down the weak side. It is stopped by Utah, but that pressure continues to come. And take a look at the aggressive running from the forwards with lock Isaac Browning finding a seam and going over. So it's a nice little mixture of backs and forwards for a solid win for Grand Canyon. Next up, a real tough one between St. Mary's and BYU, and another kind of rainy or wet, cold. This one, well, let's start with a nice maul from St. Mary's here, and look at this. Look at the attention to detail. Good communication. They're tight. They're working little steps forward. They get over, but wow, somehow BYU holds them up. I don't quite know how they managed to get under that, but they do stop that, and good for the Cougars. Keeps that game close. And then a lot of handling errors by St. Mary's, and this one BYU punishes quite quickly, and they go wide, and they get it to Taysom Hammer, and who is having an excellent season, by the way, and Hammer bursts down the sideline and cuts in for a crucial try for BYU. So now the turning point, in my opinion. BYU has a scrum at midfield. The drive from St. Mary's causes the ball to kind of roll out of the scrum, and while the initial call by referee Khalil Harrison from the ensuing chaos is a knock-on, the AR chimes in that BYU is in from the side, which they were, big time, and so it's a penalty for St. Mary's. They kick to the corner, nice kick from Joe Yakubian. Gotta love having a left-footed kicker to be able to get to that right sideline and eat off a couple more meters. And then they go back to the maul. And this first attempt is collapsed, penalty against BYU, but now there's a warning, and they have to be very careful when that maul is coming in the second time, which is exactly what St. Mary's does, and then you're running into potential penalty try problems. So you have to be careful about that. And there with the second maul, that one goes over in the corner. Junior Wakavese stepping in at scrum half. He's pretty happy. Yakubian hits the touchline conversion in this, and that makes it a 2-score game at 20-12. And I think that this try, this momentum shift from the scrum in the middle of the field out to the try for St. Mary's is the one that seals the game for them. Yes, BYU scores again, but so does St. Mary's, and they do win it 23-18. It was a close one. Another close one. Good tight game between UCLA and Arizona. And here you've got Ollie Griffiths starts everything off with a really fine counterattack run for UCLA. He pays for it, though, as Maddox King slams him down. He's slow to get up. And anyway, the Bruins recycle. And this is just sort of hands out with a couple of dummy runners to keep the defense guessing. Not particularly flashy or elaborate. That's okay. It's beautiful. It's a try. It's a 2-point game for UCLA, just behind Arizona at this point. Smooth passing out to the wing. Maybe that's the answer for Arizona too. Combine that with some direct running from the forwards for sure. And they keep the ball moving after this attack on the left side. And the key is that they keep moving the ball off the point of contact. And hard running forward or back, doesn't matter. Just it seemed like as they're getting hit or as they're about to, or just after they get hit, they're able to dish the ball off, offload. I love this ruck and the way they win that. And then good work, tough work from E.J. Freeman at center to keep this going. And then the forwards go to work, head down, run hard, look for help. James Rivers looks for help with Jack Brown. Jack Brown's a smart rugby player. He looks for help. Joey Lewis is there, gets the final pass. This try basically wins the game for Arizona. And Army at Cal with plenty of atmosphere, which is nice. And once again, smooth, accurate, quick passing does the job. And while we'll feature Oliver Newell's 2 tries for Cal in this one, really kind of the hero might be Max Threlkeld, who also got a try in the game. But in an under 13 jersey, he kind of makes or helps make it happen. So watch how Threlkeld and fullback Max Schumacher draw and pass very quickly to give Newell the space to score in the corner for that try. Army responds, and tellingly, they opt to take a tap instead of going for the line out, and they go with Larry Williams. Cal sees that coming a mile away for sure, but he does suck in enough defenders, and the ball is a very sloppy ball. It just kind of rolls out of the ruck. Dominic Tianga, though, is quick to pounce on it, stay low, score a try, an important try for Army as they keep it close. And now we get to the try that assures a Cal win. It's 1914 at the time, and here we see Threlkeld burst through on a lovely pass, and unselfishly, he finds his support. Instead of just running on, he had a little bit of space. He could have kept going, but he decides to just draw the last man, pass it out. Mac Fell is there, and he's going to link up with Newell. Great try in the corner, and really very simple stuff in the end, just executed extremely well. Cal wins 31-14.
And we wrap it up with a rare midweek game on their West Coast tour. Army then goes up to Ellensburg, Washington, where they face off with Central Washington on Wednesday night. And Army starting it off with a good attacking mindset, and they've got this line out and they send it wide. But guess who is in the way of that final pass? That's right, it's their magical wing, Mitchell Hiroshi, stepping in front of that pass and going a good 60 meters all the way to pay dirt to start the scoring off with less than 2 minutes gone. Army had answered this try to make it 7-7. Central does score again. And it still is a close game in just a fantastic atmosphere. A lot of the students staying to watch this game, and also several Army personnel at the stadium, Tomlinson Stadium, cheering on Army. So great atmosphere. And there it is, 17-7 with just about 2 minutes left in the first half. We have kicking back and forth, and finally a beautiful run up the middle to get Central Washington going on the counterattack. The forwards are there really quickly over the ball, and they will send it wide out to the right. Is Hiroshi going to get another one? No, actually, this one is going to go to hooker Jonah Alva'a. He's going to score this one, and that is kind of a killer blow that will put Central in command of this match, and they will go on to win it 36-14.
So that's it from Golf Rugby Report on D1A this week. Some of the big games anyway. Thanks a lot for everybody giving us our background. And also, don't forget that you can support what Golf Rugby Report does. You can go to golfrugbyreport.com/support-GRR. We can always use that support. It's not always cheap to host a website, maintain a website, update a website. Those things, all those costs, along with our travel costs, is really helpful and important. So thank you very much.